I'm trying to see if this will be evidence. Like I want to talk about something, but I want to talk about it the right way. When you trying, when you doing, when you just listen, because that's one thing I try to do. I'm in the room, y'all. I'm just in here in the room, away from everything. Um, the evidence of Deuteronomy is the curses are part of the curses in Deuteronomy 28. That's a very important law that just wasn't thinking. You know how you be a part of something and you just don't think. You don't really question it. You never think to question it. You read over things and you just don't pay simple things no attention. You know what I'm saying? And now, as I've gotten older, um, I've been woke up to this truth, and this is very important. I got the apocrypha right here. This is important. Um, when you think about single parent household, when you think about you trying to, you want an education, but you really, it's just like, it really, like a GED that I was going for, my nephew was encouraging me to do. But you're living in a society that you're not really going to get nowhere with that. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you do have that type of background or education or something like that, more than likely they're going to hire the so-called, y'all know, the white person before they hire the man of color. You see what I'm saying? The so-called black person or person of color, however how you want to say it, mixed. There's no such thing as that though. But more than likely, they gonna get hired. I was in. I had went to the store today. I should have blogged it, but I did go, and I noticed that when I went back there, y'all know how they have the food in the back where you can go and actually order cooked food, which I did. I think I ordered some cooked food for some of my peers. I think they had something to the store, and they told me is to get this and that. They had to write it down for me because, and they had to write the words big because, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure that you know how you go to the store, you go in for somebody, you want to make sure you get everything, like they give you a list. But going into this year, um, not knowing who you are, that's a big struggle. Then I got, I don't want nobody to think I'm being like too personal with this here or nothing like that. I'm just trying to reveal too much information, and I hope the family don't get mad with me or don't whatever. I'm not gonna say nothing crazy. I just want to use this product as what I'm fixing to say as for educational purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because in the Bible it says the only way you'll know who the real Jews are, you have to there's a trace, a mark, a trace mark, the best way I can say it. There you have to look for certain identifying marks, who fit those things, you know what I'm saying? And when I look at the evidence around me, it kind of like I'm not a kind of, but it does like okay, I could be on to something here. It's like, okay, got evidence, okay. And then you be like, okay, we're gonna roll, we're gonna gather more, we're gonna see if we can gather more evidence. Because I don't wanna make my run too quick and be lying. You see what I'm saying? When you don't really know for sure, you know. Uh, I think my family told me that they got in touch with my brother, and he and I'm gonna put, I don't this is not to reveal reveal no personal information, but they said that I ain't gonna lie, but I still been doing drugs in the jail. They gave it to me in the jail, and when I heard that, I'm like, wow. I'm like, whoa. You mean to tell me they can get it in the jail system, and you being separated from your family, you be like, damn man, you can't even enjoy your family because you thinking about they put drugs in our community, and it just completely destroys that family structure. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to act like I'm better than nobody else, but I just use that piece as for educational purpose. So if anybody want to say, well, he putting too much information, you shouldn't be saying all of that on YouTube or whatever. I don't, if it just bothers people, them that bad or something like that, but I'm doing it mainly for to help somebody else who may be lost and don't know who they are, because I know how they feel. You still sitting around and it bothers you. It comes some. It kind of like sometimes it can, even if you let it get to you too much, it can stress you because you don't know, and you hearing all these things about the Atlantic slave trade and stuff like that, and you be like, man, who are my people? You know what I'm saying? And I say it all, who, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You be like, whoa, it makes you wonder because you just thinking about it. But I thought about in the Bible, it says, be not curious in unnecessary matters, but just the simple thing, keep the commandments and stuff. So I do that to the best of my ability. But he called and said, told they told me, it got back, they talked with me. I said, what? I said, that's like, to me, it's more like, I'm not saying it because I'm talking it down in the person or that, but I'm saying like it's a sign of evidence that if a person has got a drug problem or something like that, then more than likely they they won't be able to, like, they say they can't do things like hold a job down. They can't live with people that has a lot of possessions because they'll take things out. They call it your hands will be sticky and all that. You know what I mean? So you got to be dealing with that. Then they may, like, hey, I need about $5 or $10, and you're like, what is he doing with the money? Like that. You know what I'm saying? You're saying like, what is they doing with the money? And then you come to a conclusion. You wanna reach out and you want to be a help to your family members, but you don't want to help indulge them in that habit. You see what I'm saying? Like, man, come on, man, don't ask me to do this. Man, the Most High can take both of us out. Do you know the Most High will bring wrath and punish me for actually giving you, if something happens to you out there and I didn't give you, hey man, I need $10, I need this, and then something happened to you out there and I didn't do that, then you have to be thinking you like, Lord have mercy, if I wouldn't gave them that, this and that wouldn't happen. So you got to be dealing with all of that because they're gonna be going there, you know what I'm saying, in their mind, especially when you overtaken by the demon of drugs. Everybody dealing with their own demon, you know what I'm saying? Like me, I deal with a demon's spirit of fear, doubt, or something, where everybody they deal with these different things in a different way. Some people drink themselves to death. Some people weaknesses is drugs, stealing, or something like that. Some people have, like, I think I would say I'm guilty of that. You can have a temper problem. That you have mad love for your people, but you aggressive in a certain way, and then you have to pray. I have to pray and say, Lord, help me is to don't do that. You see what I'm saying? So, help me is not to be. like that. You know what I'm saying? I try to speak to my brothers and sisters when I'm out there in the streets, but a lot of time when you do that, when you look at them and you speak, you get that. You can tell you get that kind of like you feel that distance. You know, like they don't want to speak to you or something like that. And you're like, damn. You know, it feels awkward. You know. I don't know who that is. Something came. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, that's somebody. Oh, that's something else. But yeah. And my brother, he like, well, it's like the word got back to me, and they tell me, said, well, he said that he been doing the drugs and in jail. I ain't gonna lie, I have. I've been doing drugs in the jail, and I'm like, what? Really? I said, that's amazing how you can be in this. Because see, they let you know they don't want to do nothing. They don't want to do nothing but to keep our people in these prison systems. You being separated from your family, and I think when they put these drugs in the black community, in the so-called Native American Hispanics and people, just people, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, so-called black, so-called, people of color. These things go in our neighborhood, and you look at those things. That's why I say evidence of Deuteronomy 28. Because see, when family call, what I try to do is pay attention to a lot of the things that they be saying, and I be sitting in the background like, and I just listen. You see what I'm saying? I'll listen, and then I'll be like, "Shalom, King. What's up? What's up? What's up, King?" And you look at the evidence, and the evidence is like, okay, this is a piece that can add up. That's what I try to do. Look more so at the things that of Deuteronomy 28, and then what else? Um, like his son, I think is upset with his father, which is my brother, and which is my nephew. My nephew is upset with my brother because my brother haven't really, say, been in his life because he been more likely subject to drugs and jail and stuff like that because that was his weakness. So that separates the family, because you got family members and locked up, and you're like, damn, you never had a chance to be able to connect with your family because they using these drugs and stuff, putting them in our community to constantly keep us divided, and stuff like that. So I look at little simple stuff like that and I'm like, whoa, okay. It says, Deuteronomy 28:1, it says, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness. In the wilderness. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. I go to Deuteronomy 28. I think the main one that I experienced the most, if I'm not mistaken, Deuteronomy 28 and 40. No, 66. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 66. Okay, let's start at 65. And amongst these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. You're going to be trying to travel from city to city to do better. You see what I'm saying? You're still going to be faced with the same pain, doubt. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. I say sometimes I do have a lot. I have sorrow of mind a lot, I ain't going to even lie. And thy life shall hang in doubt. That's me. Before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Sometimes you feel hopeless a lot of time because you be thinking, man, Who in the hell am I? I hope my forefather does not go back to these dirty bastards like that. You be thinking like that. And you be thinking like that shit is horrible, man. It really is. You know, it says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, with God it were evening, and at evening thou shalt say, with God it were morning. For the fear of thy heart, whether thou shalt fear, and the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see. All this stuff going on. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships. Now, the part where it says going into ships, on slave ships, I remember like one of the brothers on YouTube broke that down. I was listening to him. I had to go back and make sure I had it right. He said around 66 AD, around 66 AD, and 65 AD. I might kind of have it off. I probably have to go back and listen to the brother because that's how I got. He said there was a war between the Jews and the Romans. You see what I'm saying? Then the Romans, he broke it down like I said. The Romans came in and defeated the Jews, took their land and stuff like that. And so the Jews had to run in 70 AD from the Romans because the Romans had invaded the Jews in Jerusalem. That's when they went over there and they took their land and over there in Israel and stuff like that, claiming to be those people in that land. And they not really those people in that land. They are the fake Jews with the stuff all over their damn head, walking around to claiming to be the real Jews. Because that's in Revelation 2 and 9. He said, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but he said they are the synagogue of Satan. But they do lie like that. Now, when I go back, when I was in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I was very dedicated into the church. I was very dedicated into the church. And I thought I actually knew the Bible. But I came to a conclusion that I didn't know myself shit. I said, and I was very dedicated. I'm not going to, now some things I understood, but when I came in contact with the brothers that be on the streets that broke Esau down, red hair all over and stuff like that. Like, I never heard of that before. Then they broke down John 3:16. That was another one too. I said, whoa, wow. I'm like sitting up there like, whoa. You mean to tell me like that? I said, man, we've been lied to. And I took the information and I wanted to go out and share it with other people. I said, I discovered that in the Bible, God doesn't love everybody. So when I presented that, I think I said that to my family. They kind of like looked at me like, oh, now he done jumped from one religion to another. And I said, well, they going to bring out religion and stuff. I said, it's in the Bible. I said they went to, what's that scripture in Isaiah 45 and 17? Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You should not be ashamed nor confounded. Stuff like world without end. Stuff like that. And then they broke down the different worlds. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, whoa, that doesn't make sense. I said, I want to know more about it. Because the first time in 2016, when I first came into this, like if you would have met me back in 2016 and 17, and you came up to me and went to telling me that Jesus loves and Jesus saved, because I had stayed out the Bible for about like off and on for about 5 years, almost, like, because I was in the Seventh-day Adventist Church and I was sitting in the back of the fellowship hall. This was in 2014. I tell the story all the time on YouTube. I have several videos saying that I did, but I'm just reiterating it. I was just sitting back there in the fellowship hall and something just told me is to get up and get out. Something said, get up and get up out. And I was doing that then because you didn't want nobody to see you, because you felt kind of a little shame or embarrassed a little bit. And something just said, get up and get up out of here. And I did. I said, let me get on up out of here. Said, you ain't learning that up in here. So I left. And around in 2015, different ones, they had one person hit me up on Facebook that knew me a lot and said, "We miss you. Happy Sabbath. You come when you coming back, and this and that and the third." And I had just found out this information, so I was texting. I think I didn't text him too much information, but I was texting him some of the information and about I can't remember. I don't want to lie about white supremacy, religion being religion is white supremacy, stuff like that. And I can't remember what happened afterward, but I stayed on that topic in 2018 is when I actually the year that I started listening and tuning in to One Body Yahweh Shot, and I started building myself up, listening and tuning in to the videos whenever a lot of the brothers go live online, and stuff like that. And I've started IUIC. I was listening to them. I still listen to them from time. I do. And just tuning in because just trying to gather the information that I should have been getting when I was a little younger and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I came into this truth, and I shared. I think I shared some of the information with my sister. I shared some of the information with my brother, but they still like. I think my sister. I think a lot of them still the people that I told. They still don't have a clear all the way just yet. You see what I'm saying? But as soon as I heard it, because the first time I thought that the what you call this in I was told Hebrew Israelite. That's what they would be saying. I said, this ain't nothing but a religion. I'm not clicking on this video. I'm not messing with no Christianity. Because if you'd have met me back in 2016, I told you the Bible was the white man's book. That's your white Jesus or something like that. Because that have happened. They had somebody came up to me one time and said, "Hey, here's some. We want to." I said, "I don't fool with that. That's that Bible's a white man's book." I used to say that, and I said it off and on. I actually did videos about it, and I had another Facebook page to where I used to talk about how I read the Bible, but I don't read it as much. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what I do. After I'm done with this video, I'm gonna put an old video that I did in 2015. I got several videos sitting up there calling myself black and Creole and all that kind of stuff. And no, I said, man, what the hell I call myself this for? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no such thing as Creole, and and black and all that kind of stuff. I said my father was Creole and my mother was whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know what that meant, but I don't say that. You know. Um, so what else? I'm trying to make sure I don't leave nothing out. Um, but okay, I forgot where I was. But anyway, I was just gathering information, and you couldn't walk up to me and you wasn't gonna tell me none of that. You wasn't gonna sit up there and read to me, and then they had a so-called white man try to come up and heard our conversation. I said, "Oh, I don't listen to him, no way." I said, "No, he definitely can't tell me nothing here." I said, "That same book, they use that same book to enslave us with it, or I just would have walked off from you until I came in contact with some people and they actually broke the Bible down and they broke Esau down and all that stuff. And then once they went into the breakdowns, I really realized like, oh, we have been duped, we have been duped. And that's where I realized that the Bible, it started to make more sense, and it started to actually come alive because, you know what I'm saying, it actually started to come alive and stuff. And I tell some people now, I try to tell them, and the first thing that come up, I said, man, God, I said, if you look at the Bible, it tells you in that he says, like, if you read something like, Like if you just start off reading anywhere here in the Bible, it's gonna always say end with Israel, Israel, and then it'll say things like, "And they shall be saved in the Lord," and then you have to like read the context. Now, who is they? It'll always say they, and it would always say them. So if you say they and them, that's not talking about the whole world. That's not talking about everybody on that's on the planet. You know, it's only speaks to a certain, because when you read the Bible, how Israel went off, he didn't punish no other nations like he did the Israelites. That's how it really brought the scriptures alive too. Because you think about the children of Israel and Moses, they was in slavery under the Egyptians in Egypt, right? And so those people were enslaved to the Egyptians. The Egyptians were slave owners, you know. And so when you look at that and you how they break Israel down, and you go to a certain part where it says, like, just anywhere, you know, it said, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure olive oil, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continue." Okay, this is in like Leviticus 24, and you can read that Genesis, no, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. It talks about Moses, the children of Israel, and it always go back to the Hebrew. The children of Israel. You know, even in the New Testament. And so I read, like I said, I read the Bible when I was in the Christian church, like the Seventh Day Adventist church. I attended the church for like over 25 years. I'm gonna say at least a good over 25 years. You see what I'm saying? I was very faithful in the denomination. You know what I mean? In the organ, I was very faithful being a part of that movement. But I left the movement in 2014. You know, because I had came into it when I was 17 years old. I was in 92. I was working at a place called Golden Corral. If y'all, I don't know if y'all, yeah, everybody know what a Golden Corral is, a restaurant. Before I started working at Golden Corral, because I was, I was working at a place called Al's Drive-In. That was my first public job, but I wasn't like they it wasn't you fill out no application or nothing like that. You just start and they just take your name. And I worked there off and on. Then the next second public job I got, it was at Walmart. Then the third public job I had got started working at Golden Corral, just like what I just mentioned. And around 2016, 17, when I turned 17, I met these people. It was an older lady, you know. I was 17, she was like 34, something like that, and they was Seventh-day Adventists. And so that's how I became part of the Adventist movement, because I used to have a box and I had a lot of food and stuff, pork and stuff, and they said, "We don't eat this here," to make the long story short. I said, "Why y'all don't eat pork?" And so as soon as I found out, as soon as I heard it, I said, "Oh, that makes sense to me." I said, "Well, I don't want to eat no more pork no more." I wanted to give it up, you know, and so I did. And I was very dedicated into it, and then I left, and I didn't follow. You know, I just left and all together, and then now I really realized that in this faith, you know, it talked about nationality and stuff like. Because I never heard that before. You see what I'm saying? I never heard nothing about nationality, none of that. And I said, "Yeah, that's interesting," you know. So I just wanted to know more about it, you know. And so the curses in Deuteronomy 28. Now I was listening, just gathering evidence from the family members, and they were saying, they said, well, he said, "I ain't gonna lie, I still be doing drugs in the jail system, you know." And I said, "Well, that's a sign. That's like a slap in the face. I'm not trying to change, you know, something like that. Not being critical, but I'm just putting it out here for educational purpose." So those are things that I use to gather evidence. You see what I'm saying? That's all I do. So I just wanted to just come and put that little piece out here, you know. Yeah. Oh, I'm way over here and flipped over here and went to Leviticus. Deuteronomy. Yeah, okay. But it's a lot of stuff in here to learn. Yeah, it's a lot to learn. Now, Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, it says, it's verse 1. I mean, let's start at verse 1. And it shall come to pass when all these curses are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses which I have set before thee this day. Set before thee, thou shalt call them to mind amongst all the nations, whither the Lord thy God has driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice, according to all that I commanded thee this day. And thy children with thee, thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul. All right. Then I'm going to skip and go to verse 7. It said, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuteth thee. So that's a judgment that's coming to all the other nations that put our ancestors, both fathers and both mothers, into the slave trade, you know. And that's going to be a great moment, you know, when you all this stuff will be over with. You don't have to worry about no more death and all that kind of stuff, you know. So when when people look at me and they say, "Oh, he really know the Bible," I don't look at it like that. It's the main thing is knowing who you are. You know, that's the main thing, knowing who you are. That's it. So I'm not gonna harp on it too long, but I'm gonna come back, and as I continue to learn and gather information, then I'll come back and we'll talk some more. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. All right. I'll see y'all later.